To talk to us more on the story, we're joined by our reporter, Koketšo Motau. Koketšo, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. I mean, parents are concerned about the impact of this situation. It's an uncertain time for these learners as they wait for an outcome. Perhaps take us back to what actually led to these accusations and how the frustrations continue to be escalating.
Well, thank you so much, Limpopo, and good evening to you and good evening to the viewers there. Yes, I can tell you that this matter actually, started in January this year when, learners were receiving their results. Unfortunately, upon the arrival of their Matric statements, they only received, conclusive statements where the results for, economics were pending. And what we know is that apparently these students or these learners have actually written the same thing, particularly when it comes to one of the essays that were set on that particular examination. So I also spoke to those learners today because we managed to visit the school. So they are saying that they wrote an essay called "The Reason for the International Trade," which is one of the essays that they said one of the teachers actually emphasized on that particular essay because it was not there in the June examination as well as the trial examination. So the teacher was betting on that particular essay that they should be able to answer that particular question because it's expected to come in December. Unfortunately, according to them, that essay came through and they wrote the essay. So they're saying that they could have written the same thing because this is what their teacher was actually emphasizing on. So, and the Department of Education, because of that, the Department of Education suspected that the learners could have, they suspected that there was sort of a group copying. Hence, they withheld the results of 23 learners out of 35 learners who actually wrote that particular paper.
So the learners' results have been pending ever since then, ever since January. What are authorities saying about the delays? Did you manage at all to get any sort of feedback?
Yeah, the reason why the parents and the learners actually called us to come to their school is because they've been waiting since February because in January they also received letters from the department, telling them to come through the disciplinary hearing and the interviews so that the department can actually interview them and find out as to what actually transpired when they were writing that particular paper. And the information that we got on the ground is that the learners actually went to that hearing, and the letter was also, also stated that they can also bring their lawyer to represent them. So fortunately, the parents managed to secure a lawyer to represent all the 23 learners. And all those learners were represented at the circuit office, and they were told that they will receive the feedback, but up until now they didn't receive anything until on Wednesday. The parents managed to visit the Department of Education, the Provincial Department of Education, to seek answers there, but unfortunately they didn't receive a positive feedback. So they were told that they still need to meet with their lawyers, and the department also is still also doing some of the investigations. But according to the lawyer, because we managed to speak to their lawyer as well, the lawyer is saying that the school principal, and because the department also did some investigation, they visited the school and they got a letter from the school principal, they got a letter from Umalusi, and also the invigilators and the officials from Department of Education who visited the school on the day of the examination. All those officials are saying that there was nothing, that really was untoward during that particular examination, and they are saying that all the examination protocols were really followed. The learners they don't suspect that there was any sort of cheating because they were invigilating there.
Very concerning indeed. And in your interactions with the learners and their parents, I mean, what came out of those discussions as you really got a sense of how they've been affected by this long wait and the allegations?
Yes, these allegations really affected them negatively because some of them saying that they had suicidal thoughts because now their fellow learners are, some of them have enrolled at various universities and colleges, but now they're stuck at home. No one is giving them any positive feedback as to when are they going to get their results, or what is the final decision from the department. So that thing is really confusing them. We reached out to the Department of Education in Limpopo, which really, told us to speak to the national department because the matter is now handled by the national department. And we also reached out to the spokesperson of the basic education, Mr. Elijah Mshanka, and we're still awaiting his response to the questions that we sent to him from Saturday. So we are hoping that perhaps something will happen. And the lawyer is saying that they will be also meeting with the officials from the department on the 29th of this month, trying to, secure the results of these learners. And I can tell you that this is not the only school which is affected by this kind of allegations. There is another school outside Polokwane where learners were also affected, and the other one in Begersford was also affected by the same allegations. But fortunately, the one in Begersford, I'm told that they managed to resolve the matter. But the one outside Polokwane, these learners, apparently they were taught differently. So they were singing the essays. So as part of them, memorizing and being able to know the essays. So because they've been singing those essays, they wrote almost the same thing. So hence the department was also suspecting that these learners could have been, copying.
Very well, Koketšo Motau. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, hoping that that we will be getting some response then from education officials about a way forward. What happens now as we wrap up that discussion with SABC News reporter Koketšo Motau.